So if somebody who is listening or watching wants to try intentional camera photography, what's the simplest way you would say that they should get started in giving it a try?
Yeah, I would say, go for it. I think it helps if you have some kind of camera where you can open the shutter for longer. So if you have a camera with manual or a phone that has like the night mode or an app that will hold the shutter open, and then you really just have to start playing. And it really is experimenting and just start moving the camera. Once you know what the settings are, once you know what to do with those, then you can just start playing. You can be like, okay, what happens if I have kind of a faster, a 13th of a second, or what if I let it open for a whole second? Like, what happens? Um, if you let it open for a whole second, probably what's going to happen is it's going to be completely blown out. But there's ways to get around that, filters and things. But you just, you wanna say, okay, what happens if I move up and down with this scene, and what happens if I move side to side? What happens if my camera uses multiple exposures and on one exposure I go side to side and one I go up and down? What does that create? Like, sometimes it's really hard to know beforehand what's going to show up. Um, I think it takes maybe several years of doing this in order to pre-visualize what it's going to look like, just because there's so much. The camera picks up on stuff that your eye can't see, even if you were to move your eyes like
Yeah.
kind of like wacky way. Like, the camera picks up on stuff that you can't see. And so it takes a lot of practice, I think, to know, like, if I move my camera this much, I'm gonna get this movement. And if I move it this much, it's gonna look that way. And I want it to look that way. So I'm gonna move it more. Um, so yeah, I would just say find a camera that allows you to have a long exposure and start. Just start. At the beginning, it's gonna be kind of a mess. It's gonna be kind of a mess. You know, if you can get through that. Like, there are some people, and my sweetie is one of them, that they wanna be really good at it right at the way. And that's not gonna happen with ICM unless you're some kind of savant, right? It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be look like you just made this thing that looks, you know, like a bunch of streaks, and it's not interesting. And on the back of your camera, it might not look great either, but once you can do some editing, it might be actually great. So, so yeah, that's my advice, is to just start playing, start experimenting, and then not be hard on yourself when it doesn't look like you want it to look.
That sounds like great advice. I mean, I imagine if you're trying pottery or painting or any type of art, the first thing you paint is not going to be a masterpiece.